I hope my phone doesn't really run out of storage as I record this, but I saw a reel on Instagram which spoke about how success is inbuilt, but due to us not really living by God's design, we don't ever come across success. What I mean to say is that he gave really good examples about how the tree is already in the seed. So the seed does not really need to take a gardening class to become a tree. Similarly, the fish has the swim in it. That is why the fish does not really have to take swimming lessons to learn how to swim. Similarly, the flight is already in the bird. That is why the bird doesn't really have to go to pilot school to learn how to fly. And lastly, he said that when we don't operate by God's design, that is why we tend to fail, in the sense that a fish will not really survive on the land. Similarly, a bird's not going to survive in the water, and so on and so forth. You get the point. And it just struck something in me because growing up, I'm almost 25 years old, and growing up, people used to ask me that, well, your mom and dad are doctors, you'll also most likely become one. And I never really had an answer to that. I would just hesitantly say no, not really, because I don't care about it. But it was always societally quite shocking because the culture that I grew up in, children mostly do what their parents do. That's how it's really passed down to the next generation. And that happens mostly everywhere. I mean, now there are a lot of black sheep and generational curse breakers, and I consider myself to be one in my family. But as I grew up and as the time came for me to finally choose a career path, people were shocked that I did not choose to be a doctor like my parents. But the thing is that had I studied medicine and gone to medical school for 5 years and then done an internship, I could have done all of that. It would have been super, super hard because I wasn't really interested. But with consistency, I could have achieved really good scores and I probably could have become a doctor. But that would be an injustice to to God's design that was formulated for me. Now, I'm not trying to be all religious and spiritual, but I do believe that we have innate qualities that we should own in on for our own sake. What I'm trying to say is that this is something I'm good at, but not a lot of people in my family are. I studied media, I studied journalism, and it was a shock to everyone I talked to, especially in my family. My parents did not really understand why did I want to pursue that. My grandparents didn't really understand. Nobody in my family understood why I wanted to do that. But nonetheless, I did it because that's what I wanted. And I just asked them to trust me. It was obviously difficult because they're my parents, right? And they're my family. But I excelled. I got really good scores. It's not even about scores, but I was able to meet like minded people. I was able to make short films when I was in uni, when I was in college. And right now, as I'm studying again, I get to do the same things. And I'm happier than ever because whatever God's design was for me, I'm aligned with it. I'm not going against the grain, but I'm watering my own grass, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying that there's a profession or something, a career path that's formulated for you even before you're born, but there are certain qualities that you have that you are supposed to figure out as you grow up and own in on them. These are certain skills that people have. I like communication, I like leadership, I like quick thinking. These are certain soft skills that I wasn't necessarily born with, but I inculcated them based on the environments that I was put in. Not every friend of mine was like that. I was naturally an extrovert. I liked approaching people and introducing myself, and it comes really easy to me. People tell me that I'm approachable. People tell me that I'm a good communicator. People tell me that I have really good oration skills. That's something that I have owned in on over time because I already was sort of good at it. But because of consistency, I'm slowly becoming great. That's all I wanted to say. Super random, but you won't have to work hard if it comes naturally to you, just like all of this comes naturally to me. I don't have a script for this. I saw a reel, I formulated some thoughts in my head, and I just started speaking. I fumble as well. I wait to think as well. I pause as well. Sometimes I just start rambling. But the more I do this, the better I get. That's the whole point. I don't need to go to a communications class anymore, of course, in order to put forth my points. But maybe someone who's a beginner will have to do that in order to own in on those skills. And by the time they reach where I am, they'll also be like me. And the people that I look up to, if I do the things that they did, I'll be like them. So do things that come naturally to you. Figure out a way to not really necessarily monetize, but if you can, that's a great thing. I don't have any expectations from monetary expectations from what I do, but if it comes, it's good. I do it for fun. I have a great time doing this. I love to talk. I would love to have a podcast one day. Let's see where life takes me. So, if you follow God's design that has been created for you, which you will be able to figure out, you'll just have a smooth sailing life. I'm not saying that it's not going to be difficult. There are going to be days that you're going to question everything like I did and I still do, but it's just going to come naturally to you and you'll know in your heart that yes, this is what I was made for and I'm great at it. And if I do it every single day, the results have no choice but to show up. Okay, I'm recording this after I have finished creating the video, and this is what I just remembered, that the guy said that the failure usually happens, or that we don't really get successful in certain areas, is because we're not in the right environments. The reason that medicine wouldn't have worked for me is because it wasn't meant for me. And I don't mean meant for me in a spiritual or religious way. It's just that I did not have the innate qualities or characteristics to become a doctor. Like, for instance, I studied business when I was in school. I didn't like it, I didn't score well, and everyone was super, super disappointed in me, especially my parents. However, when I went to media school, I secured a silver medal. That's because that was the right environment for me. Not everything is for me, and that's okay. I don't have to bash myself for it. It's completely okay. A fish will not succeed on the land. Similarly, a bird's not going to succeed in the water, but they will succeed in their own arenas and areas of life. That's how it is. So just because you're not good at A doesn't mean that you are inherently bad. It's just that you haven't really found something that you're good at, and you are good at something. You just have to find one of the areas of your life at which you're exceptional. That's it. Because everyone has something. You have to figure it out. Success is the default. That's the bottom line. We all have success in us. The reason we don't really come across it is because we're not placed in the right environments. All we have to do, through trial and error, through flowing through life, making mistakes, and then discerning and looking back and connecting the dots, we just have to find the right environments, because we are always successful inherently, just at something which we haven't quite found yet. Once we find it, life's awesome. It already is.